This is football analysis, and I'm here with
Austin United.
All right, Austin. How was the match today?
Bad officiating. Awful officiating. That has been the highlight of Premier League officiating for the season. I mean, it was the poor officiating. You don't expect players to go onto the pitch and then play to the game plan, and then the official will ruin the game for them. We don't expect that in today's game. It's very poor coming from his center referee and the VAR officials. That's very poor. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4 fouls that were not given for Manchester United, which led to City's goal. That's bullshit.
I think Ten Hag was given a yellow card for that too.
Yes, he would be given a yellow card because you have to protest. How can you bring down Marcus Rashford and then you bring down Gacho and none of that was given as a foul? If you were the manager, you would protest. Anybody would protest on that condition.
All right. So concerning the pattern of play today for Manchester United, do you think they really play well today?
Like I said yesterday, we are going to look for spaces behind Manchester City and run into it for counter-attack. You understand? And that we did perfectly today. First half, you could see the game plan. It was to counter spaces and then score. And we did that fantastically well first half. I mean, if we were clinical enough, we would have scored 2 to 3 goals in the first half, which we didn't, but that's fine. Second half, City and the center referee took the entire game away from us. And that was very bad. I was expecting to play Manchester City, not the officials. I played the officials, I played Manchester City. There was no way I could have won both.
From what your players played today, do you think there are players that intentionally didn't do better today?
Well, for me, barring the goal Marcus Rashford scored, I think he was incredibly awful. He was making me so uncomfortable the entirety of that match. I mean, just add a little effort to whatever it is you're doing on that pitch, and you're good to go. Look at Kobe Mino. Look at McTominay. Even though his passes were not going right, the effort was there. Look at Johnny Evans, a 39-year-old man, putting on his effort in the game. Look at Varane. Varane was excellent today. Give the 3 goals. I don't care about them. Look at what Varane did. Look at the goalkeeper. Look at everybody. But Marcus Rashford, Dalot, they keep on game after game bringing errors. Look at Amrabat, for crying out loud. He gave that goal on a platter of gold to Haaland. Who does that? It's just so poor. It's so poor from Marcus Rashford, Amrabat, and Dalot again today. I'm not impressed one bit.
All right. So substituting Amrabat for Garnacho and Johnny Evans. So what can you say about the substitute? Did he come the right time or the wrong time?
Well, for Johnny Evans, it was obvious he was injured. He couldn't go. He was limping, so he had to go out. And then Willie Kambola came in replacement of him. And then for, what's his name? Amrabat. Amrabat came in because Garnacho was starting to show signs of fatigue. He was tired. He couldn't run. And our game depended on runners today. So he couldn't run. We needed a player, okay, it's 2-1. Let us just try to make the result a fair one, and then we'll go out of the game in 2-1. I mean, it's still okay for the form we are and the number of players we are not having in the game. You get it? So I feel like the substitution were not really that bad. It was just the player character on the pitch that was not there.
Apart from the foul, do you think Garnacho impacted the game in any way today? Because I think people are complaining today that it's his fault today throughout the game, apart from the foul from the Ederson today. So what do you have to say about that?
If you look at Garnacho has been the most potent forward we have of late. You get it? Excluding Højlund. Now, you know that if you are going into this game, a team like Manchester City is going to single him out. Yes, they'll single him out. I mean, Marcus Rashford is not in form. You don't need to man-mark him. But Garnacho, if you take him out of the game, you've taken up to 60-70% of our potency in attack away. You get it? So I'm not really too concerned about him not participating in the game as much as we would have expected. It's okay. It's okay. It's normal. It's normal to be man-marked out of the game. But man-marking players, putting 2 to 3 players on Garnacho should give Marcus Rashford and McTominay enough space to run into. And they had it. They had that space. Garnacho took markers away from them, but Marcus Rashford and McTominay, who was co-striking with him, did nothing with those spaces. I mean, we had several chances in the first half that we did nothing with. I'm just disappointed, to be honest.
City played over 30 shots off target and over 18 shots on target. Yeah. And what can you say about the keeper, Onana?
Well, first of all, for that 30 shots we're talking about, it's not unique to City. There was nothing incredible about that 30 shots. When we faced Aston Villa, we considered 22 shots. So it's not about Manchester City, it's about how we defend, how we play. we let in too many chances. I was looking into a stats before this game. They said Onana faces a shot every 5 minutes, which is the poorest in the league. So it's not about Manchester City, it's about Manchester United. You give this same Manchester United team to Luton, we concede so many chances. You give it to Chelsea, we concede so many chances. So it's not about Manchester City, it's about us. And for Onana, I think Onana is coming up good these days. I mean, he made several saves, his passes were good, he gave the pass to Bruno Fernandes for the goal. So for today's game, I think I'll give Onana his flowers. Yes, he considered 3 goals, but none of it was his fault. None of it was his fault. So I give Onana a pass for today's game.
All right. So who do you think that is a exceptional player on Manchester United's team today?
Well, for me, I'll give it to Rafael Varane. His positioning, his clearance was top notch. You could see that he was a master of defending in the 18-yard box. You understand? You could see how perfectly he understood how to defend the 18-yard box. So for me, I'll give Rafael Varane my man of the match.
What about Casemiro?
Casemiro, yes, he was excellent in the first half. He was nipping in 1 or 2 tackles and everywhere in the first half. But nonetheless, I think the midfield was not really there. The midfield was not really there. Kobe Mino, well, today, together with experience and strength, he was not really on top of his game. And I understand. I mean, he's a 19-year-old boy. He's a 19-year-old boy. He will only get better over time. So for the midfield, I will not really give them too many credits because we were open. We were open. City caught us open in the midfield, which is their game. You don't go to the Etihad or faces Guardiola City and expect to get a strong midfield performance. So it's okay. I'm not too concerned about the midfield performance.
All right. So generally, what do you think that can be done to better this team?
We need signings, quality signings that could bring competition into the team. Marcus Rashford needs a quality competition. Højlund needs a senior striker to help him. I mean, you cannot put the workload on him. Garnacho obviously needs a competitor because Bruno, what's his name, Anthony, is not competing enough. And then in the defense, you could see that players like Rafael Varane, players like Maguire, players like Luke Shaw are injury prone. These are core team players that are injury prone. You're not supposed to have 3 first 11 players that are injury prone. You're not going anywhere with that. You should have a fixed back 4 that doesn't get injured too often. You get it? So I think we need to reshuffle the back line with some quality signings. And then for the midfield, we need a replacement for Casemiro. He's 33-year-old. We need a holding midfielder that can come in, complement what Kobe Mino is doing. And then for the attack, we need a centre forward. We need a right winger. And then we need a number 10 to ease Bruno's workload.
All right. So I understand that Bruno's workload is too much on him, but I don't think that there is another person who can really come out to challenge Bruno. So do you think that we need another signing on Bruno's position?
Well, this season we've been very unlucky with injuries. Actually, we signed Messi Mount to give Bruno a compliment to help him. He plays his game. Messi Mount and Bruno have some similarities with the way they play. So had it been that Messi Mount has not been as injured as he has been this season, I think Bruno would have had some space to rest, and that would have helped his strength level. Well, we'll see what next season brings, because for me, this season is over. So next season, when the signings come in, and then the quality signings, and the signings we need, not just any signings. I mean, we signed several players that we are not using. They didn't fit into the plan. For example, Amrabat, he didn't fit into the plan. What do we need him for? Bayandil, Onana's competitor, doesn't fit into the plan. Now, even if Onana is not in form, we cannot be confident enough to put Bayandil in the post. So we need players that will come in, not just sit on the bench, but be able to keep the players who are on the pitch on their toes. Those are the signings that we need.
All right. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you very much.
Please, if you are watching, please keep watching, and don't forget to follow our social media handles at Football Analysis. And also, if you are watching from YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as Still Football Analysis. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.